Guys, welcome back to Planet Tyro. I'm your host, Donald Wonder. So I just had a nice evening with a few of my good friends that you might have seen on the show before. And we're going to do a little group movie discussion that we do, and I plan to do this more often, as I said before. I hope you enjoy it. It's a little bit lengthy, but you know, it's nice to get different opinions on these movies, not just mine. So without further ado, let's do it.
Tyro Media.
Alright, so we're just back from Fast and Furious 7, and as usual, I've got the Tyro Council here from last time in the Cellar Review to give their thoughts. So guys, we just saw the movie. Give us your thoughts, whatever you think of it, let the people know. Starting with Mr. White Guy.
I think that's you, John. Motherfucker, I'm a black. Nice.
Alright, you know what, John? You go first, because we had time on before. What's up?
Let's start from the east, okay?
Yeah.
East to the west.
Well, shit, it was dumb, it was loud, lots of fun though.
Yeah.
In the last 2 days, I watched one or the rest of six, the other six, and starting off with some low-level, street thugs and some car thieves, and all of a sudden they have access to high-end equipment. They're all martial arts experts. They're all indestructible. Doesn't make any sense. I don't care.
Well, I was missing the Shakespearean quotes, you know, and I kind of wanted them to have a really deep moment of. I'm like, what the fuck? It's called Fast and fucking Furious. Seven, not 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 7. Okay, at this point, you know what you're getting. I thought it was awesome. Like, we watched it in D-Box,
yeah.
So you know, the seat was rumbling. If you're ever worried about getting your money's worth from D-Box, like you motherfucker holding the camera, watch fucking Mockingjay in D-Box, which is probably, I don't know, what you want to cry in D-Box? I think that was your, like,
some movies, they shouldn't even advertise in D-Box. They're just obviously milking the whole process. But
if they find a fool like who pays it,
nice.
I think it was like all the others, really. Well, like the previous, like 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
if you look at Fast and Furious 1, 2, and 3, it's just racing. Yeah, you've got the main storyline behind it: carjacking, drug dealers, drifting.
But it's street racing.
But it's effectively street racing. When you get to number 4, 5, 6, 7, they're all linked. I know all of the movies are linked together, obviously. But 4, 5, 6, 7 is where they put the storyline to link the whole lot of them together. Now, when you watch 4, 5, 6, and 7, it's like they've gone away from the street racing. They've gone away from the whole purpose of Fast and Furious and turned it into an extreme action movie.
Yeah.
But
With family.
But I think that's what, because Vin Diesel effectively was the franchise to begin with, and from what I can remember from the interviews and stuff that I heard from him, that was more the direction he wanted to go in.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't want to be involved. He wasn't involved in Fast and Furious, the second one, and the third one until the end, because basically they took the franchise in a different direction. And he was just like, "Fuck it."
Is that why you made Triple X then?
Well,
Yeah.
it was kind of like this. Like, he was trying to gain more creative control because he was trying to establish his own production company. So he was moving away from a lot of these franchises like Triple X, like Riddick at the time.
Yeah.
So what Universal did, they said, okay, this is going to be like Mission Impossible with Paul Walker. That was Too Fast, Too Furious. So every movie they would recruit him for a new job while he's street racing, I guess, or whatever. But that didn't work out. They said, reboot. Let's go to Japan. And then everybody was like, well, we kind of like these characters, and now you have none of them except Han, who they killed. No spoilers at this point, because it came out like, what, 8 years ago?
Yes.
He died in the damn movie. And then when Diesel came back and said, okay, what did people like about it? They like family, they like unity, they like a team. So the movies came more and more focused on, here's a group of guys who are very good drivers, and what kind of extreme mission they can go on to take out some big bad guy and have like, who has a big plot and giant action set piece. And now it's just, it might as well be the Avengers. It might as well just take on Ultron.
That's what a lot of people are saying. This is a superhero movie. The character's no longer him, and then there's basically a glorified excuse to make another superhero movie out of these street car races. Does that bother you guys?
No, because it's
Yes,
for me it doesn't, because it's still, because first of all, okay, they're superheroes. You have to suspend your belief when you're watching it.
Mhm.
But first of all, it's not based on a comic book series
Mhm.
or anything like that. So when you go in, it's easier to suspend your belief.
Mhm.
Like it's easier to suspend your belief in the world of the film because you're like, okay, so it's not a comic book hero movie, so I'm not going to go in and go, oh, but that's not in the comic, and that's not in the comic.
Exactly.
That kind of shit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're like, it's reality, but the reality of that film world. So it's stupid and it's silly, but it still sticks within its conventions whilst doing all this extreme shit.
Quick questions. Dwayne Johnson.
The Rock's the man.
Yeah, he can heal himself. Okay, that man. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but there's a certain part in this movie where he just decides he's gonna be okay. And with that decision, like all injuries are gone for that moment. And
Yeah.
like, here's the thing. Going back to what you mentioned about, is this a comic book movie? Does Dwayne Johnson or any other character bother you? Jason Statham. I think what really defines this franchise is you have a lot of diverse, good characters. You have every race, especially this is what I loved about the sixth one, that you had strong females, every race was represented, and I think that's why people like this, because you watch the Avengers and it's more or less the same guy that nerds like in a very popular product that everybody watches because it's the hot new thing, but in the core it appeals to a nerdy geek reading a comic. And now the Disney marketing machine made it into something that's much more accessible. You don't have to read the comics, but here they didn't have that. So why a lot of girls like it, because you have Michelle Rodriguez, you have the new hacker chick who's very smart, you have a whole action sequence that's just only female. You know,
Yeah.
Oh,
Ooh,
brutal.
that was
Yeah.
brutal.
Absolutely brutal.
And I love the fact that it wasn't all like girl pulling hair. It's proper fucking fight,
Oh,
That
man.
was a pretty
That's
short.
awesome.
Oh, come on,
man.
that's Ronda Rousey, so.
yeah, exactly. So
Proper like.
Alright, so here's a kind of we're going to wrap this up because it's not going to be, we don't have to go as long as Interstellar. There really isn't that much plot points to spoil or anything. But what I will say is,
non-stop action.
in a slight spoiler way, in your personal opinion, is this the end of the franchise and do you want it to end here? And if so, why not and why so?
Going to the movie, I thought it would be the last one. Now, going to see Fast and Furious, I thought it would be the last one. Now, after coming out the movie, they've left it, the way they've left it, it can go either way. It can go either way. For me, I think they should have left it there. Not only because Paul Walker has passed on, may he rest in peace, but because of the fact that they've done 7 movies, they brought it literally in every movie, bar number 5, bar the end of the 5th one, in every movie they've gone, oh, this is the end. This is the end. This is the end. It's only when you hit number 5 where they put it.
Yeah, the last one was the only one where it kind of open-ended to continue this one, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, it should be the end, because it had it's a very nice ending, but it's not going to be. You know the way they left it, there's room for more, and you know it's going to make a lot of money. I mean, let's just wait until the box office numbers come in. It's going to make a lot of money. The thing is, they've done like everything.
Everything you can think of.
No, I think of more, but you should.
Alright, go on.
I don't think it is going to be the last movie, but I personally would like it to be the last movie. Because when you've got people, I mean, we've been following these characters for a really long time, and they've gone from being kind of like sidekicks, and with Vin Diesel being like the front man and then being sidekicks, to all of them having their own like backstories and being interesting individuals. Even the villains, who haven't necessarily lasted throughout each movie, have been interesting to watch and have had their own interesting backstories. And it's just the kind of like, for me, with the ending as well, I just think that you cannot continue, like, if they were to go forward, it wouldn't have the same vibe, because Paul Walker does, you know, he does constitute as one of the mega characters of that whole team. And so
People would argue that
them,
only because he died, people are saying that now. Before the fact, no one's really saying that.
I think he does though. I mean, he couldn't carry the second movie by himself, but like the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, like his part has really grown. I mean, all of their parts in their own way have all really grown. I mean, I can't think of someone else you could bring in to play, like, even whether or not you like his acting, Chris Ludacris's Bridges part. Sorry, that made me laugh so much when I saw that name on there. Chris Bridge, you know. Or even
Nice.
flipping Tyrese's part, like, or definitely not Michelle Rodriguez.
Yeah.
And even the woman that played Giselle, although she, like, spoiler, died in, like, the last movie or whatever it was, she was really good. Like, it's gone from being, like, a series where it's Vin Diesel and these guys to being the Fast and Furious, and you're really interested in all those characters. And once those characters are dead, you can't bring them back, and equally you can't replace them. So it's kind of like, well,
I'll keep it nice and short. I really agree with what you said. That I think when you look at why the second and third one didn't work, and when the fourth one worked, was the unit. I think the team up between Vin Diesel and Paul Walker and the whole family chemistry, that's what people really like. And the way the franchise is going now, you don't have that personal element anymore, because this was the big wrap up. The fifth one, they made the big gamble. The sixth one, they redeemed themselves as heroes, and the seventh one, karma came and had to deal with the revenge. But now it's just like, it would be like the second one, where they have no reason to continue. They don't have a family element. It's just them going on another mission. And with Paul Walker not being there, you don't have the unit anymore. You don't have the chemistry between him and Vin Diesel, the rivalry that, he's like his brother-in-law and trying to build a family. All that's gone. So it's going to be just an Expendables, Mission Impossible type of franchise. And I really thought this was going to be it. And if they continue, this franchise can only get more ridiculous. I mean, this movie was exactly like the sixth one, but every single scene they pressed the crazy button. Every single scene. In every single scene they pressed the crazy button, and there was just not one action scene that held anything back. There was no build-up, just nonsense pure. It was a lot of fun, but I can't imagine the next one being anything but just even crazier, and character-wise, nothing added.
Yeah, I'm gonna give Fast and Furious 7 a solid B. This is the definition of a good, solid action movie. There's 7 movies in. Everything past the fourth one has been of a different tone. We've already touched on that. This is now like an ensemble action movie, like The Expendables, like Guardians of the Galaxy, like Avengers. People like ensemble movies with characters because you get different personalities. But the thing I like about this one in particular is that I don't really give a shit about the characters. It's not like a comic book movie or a video game movie where I know these characters and I have my expectations that Spider-Man should be like this or Iron Man should be like this, or are they going to work? I don't care. I just come to the movie, I sit back and I enjoy it. I have no expectations and I just have a good time. And that's what this is, a good time. Do I want to see more of this franchise? I wouldn't mind. I don't really care enough about Paul Walker's character. I do respect Paul Walker, but even, to be honest with you, I don't think he actually made the series stand alone on its own. It was always an ensemble piece with these characters, especially from the fourth one. So him leaving, although it's sad, I have to be honest, it isn't going to hurt the franchise on the long run. And this is a money maker. After the money it's going to make, they're just not going to stop. And even Vin Diesel has already spoken about ideas for part 8 anyway, so it's not going to stop. I don't mind watching something mindless action, and this movie is very, very, very entertaining and fun. Definitely the best I've seen so far on a pure entertainment value. If you come in here with some preconceived notion that it should be up to a certain standard of intellectualism, you're watching the wrong movie, and honestly, you're just silly for coming this far into the franchise and thinking that. It's not that kind of movie. Just enjoy it, and it gets a solid B for the enjoyment level alone. But guys, as usual, I want to hear your thoughts, so leave a comment down below. Have you watched the movie? Do you think it was good? Did you think it was shit? Do you just not give a damn? Do you wonder why we're even talking about it? We like to vary things up on the channel. And I do want to say, guys, I apologize that some of my friends that I actually wanted that weren't on last time didn't get to speak on this review. Hopefully we'll see you next time. But I just have a good time in general with you guys. And hey man, it was a great night out. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked the video, hit that like button. If this is your first time on Planet Tyro, welcome to the channel. You can click annotation on the screen to check out some other videos, other reviews of all types of stuff. But until the next one, I want to say have a nice evening, morning, or whatever. Peace out.